Right, so good afternoon, everybody. It's New York Open, about 15 minutes, 17 minutes in. Well, yeah, and we are just currently waiting for the Judas swing to finish, which is normally around about 2 p.m. So, as you can see from these arrows, our trader we entered yesterday did not work out. We waited for the sweep of this London high, this high over here. We swept it. Then we had this displacement here, which created imbalance. And then we entered in on the retrace, of which price then continued going up. So this ended up in SL. Okay, and then the session today, we had Asia create this range. Funny enough, within kind of London session here, and then New York or London swept Asia highs, came back down into the range and it's kind of consolidating. Now we have the New York Open, of which the New York Open again is consolidating a little bit, but it's within the London range, so we are waiting for one of the lows or highs to get swept. If we look at the daily time frame, we can see that we have displaced downwards like so. We have also swept this external liquidity here multiple times. Then we have this range of wicks and consolidation. And so, these wicks are all wicked into this kind of area here. It's just price moving sideways. Of course, this place is down, up here, down here, up here. Up here says minor displacements, but for the sense of direction, it's quite aimless to an extent. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So, with terms of direction, well, we've had a more recent displacement to the upside here, breaking some structure. So it could be like a reversal phase. If we have a look at DXY, we can see here that yesterday anyway, we had this imbalance. You can see this market gap here, and price filled it. We predicted it for price to retrace from it or rebound from it, but price instead kept on traveling downwards and actually used the midpoint as a imbalance or reversal. And if we were to adjust this so it's more accurate, there we go. Yeah, we've just been creating low lows here. Now we do have a bullish fair value gap over here, but price has swept it. So I do think price is DXY is gonna continue going down. And we've broken this imbalance, we've retested it, come back down, we've swept this bullish fair value gap. Every time we push up, we seem to see some rejection. You can actually see here, if we zoom in, you can see prices rejected this multiple times. If price just placing downwards and then slowly rising like so. I think we're going to continue to rise up here. And as we rise and touch this area, I expect prices to react and drop. to the downside. But we'll see. Right now we are on the EU waiting for a liquidity sweep on GU. If you look at the weekly, you can see here again, I thought that price was going to go down, but we rejected this area multiple times. You can see by these 2 wicks here. So I think price is going to continue up, which supports DXY's opinion of continuing down. Because if it's continuing down, we want to buy against it, which is GU, because GBP is first. So it's actually confirming some buys. Those lines were just areas of where I would have taken my TP had price gone in the direction that I was looking for. So for us to be getting into the markets, we'll be looking for a liquidity sweep, potentially these lows of London, and then a displacement upwards to then target liquidity of the upside. And then that would be a profitable day and would support the biases that we have long term. The only thing I would say is that price is quite far away from the lows of London, so it might not even be a today type of thing. I don't believe there's news either. There is situations where we need to keep in tabs on Iran, which we haven't been doing. Excuse me. And so this may be a day where we potentially don't get in. And we're going to have a quick glance at the other pairs. Interesting. So here, we've actually already swept Asia lows. We've also displaced here. However, that closes in 5 minutes. So we can use 15-minute, which shows a super strong value gap in this. With all that's left for us to even enter this trade is for price to come down here and then come up here, which supports the idea of EU or the GU sweeping the London lows and then displacing downwards. This one's a little bit ahead. The fact that it's already swept Asia lows with the London highs. You know, the London highs took out the Asia highs and then it swept down here. And I've seen this happen before where it sweeps up, sweeps down, and it creates a huge delivery session in the New York window. So EU EuroCAD is getting put here. So now we look at AD Swiss franc. Okay, this is kind of consolidation for me. Put in the watch list. GBP Swiss franc. Okay, so it's similar to EuroCAD. Swept the highs of Asia highs, swept the lows, Asia lows, and we have not displaced to the upside. But everything else has been done. That is a low quality setup. We'll put it in C for now. Just mark this because we haven't actually analyzed it. GBP CAD, again, similar concept. Swept the highs of Asia highs, swept Asia lows, and we've actually displaced to the upside from here to here. So ideally, we'll just be looking for a pullback into the fair value gap to then buy it to the external liquidity to the upside. Euro Swiss franc, similar again, just no displacement. So we'll drop that in to C+. USD JPY, it's created equal highs. I wouldn't count as a sweep. It did, however, displace downwards, and we are currently actually retesting it. It's just whether or not you would count this as a sweep or not, because it technically did sweep. It displaced downwards, you can see here. And you can actually even, it's 5 minute time frame, so you can even drag this up here. Say it's like this, with the ideas to sell it. We'll say it's here, and it's sell it down, which again supports our bias for USD to drop because we're selling the USD, buying the yen. So this could be a potential opportunity right here. of which we'll put this into A. Look at GJ. We have just swept the highs of London session, yet to displace, but that can stay in B plus. Going through the watch list, CAD must be super bearish because the fact that USD is bullish against it is interesting, as the Asia lows have been taken out by London session. London then created a deeper low here, but we've had a stronger reaction to the upside. I would just stay away from this. Nothing much more. I'll keep my eye on it, hence why I can stay in the watch list, because I'll be interested if it sweeps the London highs. Euro NZD. We swept Asia highs with London session, displaced all the way downwards, then swept the lows, but we have not displaced to the upside. NZD Swiss franc, equal highs over here, some deep liquidity, but we haven't displaced or really taken any liquidity, so there's going to be no direction, but this is setting up nicely for some potential big moves in the future. Here we swept the highs of the Asia highs during London session, and then we followed up by sweeping Asia lows. We technically displaced, and now yet to pull back to it. It's not the best fair value gap, but it is a valid one, of which we have not yet seen price do anything. So we'll put that in B plus. Check on GA, swept the lows here, coming in the range. Just keep it in the watch list. AUD NZD, same thing. There, we've done that. So we go here. So our decision is: do we get into this? Let me have a look at the yen basket. So on the daily time frame, the yen is bullish, bearish. Weekly is bearish. Came here once, came up here, came here twice, came up here. It's come here for the third time. So you could expect a potential just increase just off of past history. However, that is not a reliable strategy because it's just a support and resistance type of trade. It's currently creating low lows and low highs, so it's in a bearish trend. We've also swept the lows and not displaced upwards, so I would be careful with this. The only way I would potentially maybe be interested in this is if we sweep the highs, sweep the lows, and do something like this. But that drops it to a B plus. So EuroCAD, GBP CAD, those are two strongest outlooks where we'll just be looking for price to come back to this imbalance. Wait for the institutions to defend their positions by taking more orders near the imbalance area or the area of imbalance. We can go from there. So yeah, with the main pairs that we trade, we have to wait for liquidity to be taken. We are bullish, so we can get rid of this. We just to show the wicks. This is that big displacement on the daily time frame, and then price is currently, we've taken the highs of Asia's, yet to take the low, but I don't know how deep this low sweep would be if it would take Asia lows as well, but we'll see. This is our general idea. GU I think might be better. Does it have that daily it does, but that's the difference between EU and GU. GU just swept the lows over here, and this move to the downside isn't a displacement because there's a lot of overlaps which disqualify it for being a fair value gap. So it may not have that same resistance to bullish ideas as EU would have. So we might be preferable or have a preference to a sweep of the London lows and then to pursue London highs. However, there is some unkept or unresolved business with the Asia lows haven't been swept. So whether or not the price would just sweep London lows or also pull back or deep as the London Asia lows before it makes a push or run to the upside is yet to be known. That being said, we have an eye on 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. So that will be our watch list for today. Not going to be in really investing into the B plus, C plus today. Just looking for A plus setups. So let's set an alert, sorry, here. I'm going to set maybe another one. Which means there we go. And then set one here as well. So it'll be 2. And then I'll just keep my screen on these ones. And then wait for some liquidity sweeps. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, we're just going to be streamlining our trading streams just so that I can keep a little bit more consistent. I am going to be doing a lot of studying in the background. So that's why I'm not trying to commit as much time into the live markets. Hence also why I'm only looking for A plus setups, the best of the best, so that for the people that are watching my setups and my track record and my improvement, they can only focus on the best of the best rather than everything. I learn the best when I trade everything, because then I learn quicker from my mistakes, because there's money being lost, than I would learn from my wins, because wins can sometimes solidify or give you confidence in bad habits which you're sometimes are unknown to you. So that's why I do like I preferably like to lose money and learn quicker from losing money. When I say lose money, I don't lose thousands. Okay, I'm not trying to, but I would, even if I have like a £10 account or £50 realistically, £50 to £100 account, and I'll just be risking £5 a trade. I'll just see it as, okay, well, there goes travel, there goes how much would have got on my lunch or this, that, the third. So I feel it. That's why I'm saying that it helps me learn more, because it's directly affecting my outgoings. So yeah. That being said, we are going to. I want to target the end of this month, so April, to start investing heavily, buy our first funded accounts since the last time we bought funded accounts, which is a very long time ago now, to then start trading legitimately in full port. Not full port where I'm risking everything in a trade, but full port in the sense that I'm actually, rather than investing like 1% or 5% or something small, I will invest a lot more of my income, because I don't really spend money. I literally spend money on bills, giving charities and to different things, and food. Literally, my only outgoings right now is food and travel. Those are my 2 main expenses, and like, you know what I'm saying, bills in here and there. Also, yeah, I've had a rough night, but we good. It's just a It's just a yeah, it's just for the season. Had a rough week last week, so how it goes, but recovery. So yeah, again, just to recap, waiting for sweeps on the EU-GU pairs. Then we are looking at some pullbacks to some potential entries on EuroCAD, GBP CAD, of which EuroCAD potentially could already start. Could actually be one. Like getting in here. This is a 1 to 2. Just targeting it, London highs. It probably will have a deeper pullback. And I think we should also start getting stricter with our entries. Personally, what is this? Let's get the pip calculator. I think I might just stop saying stops and limits. Where's my phone? So the reason why I got into EuroCAD instead of GBP CAD or anything else, one, we already had the liquidity sweep over here. And we took out the Asia lows with the London session. London session that displaced upwards, and it's come back down into this fair value gap. We just put a little bit in because we still have this liquidity over here. So yeah, the thing is, the one thing I don't like is we don't have like the strongest market structure shift. I'd argue that this is the high over here. You know, so I would say that it's more like this. So with this displacement, we didn't break this structure here. That's the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. And the fact that we also have, we still have liquidity over here, which is London lows. And normally I like for New York to take a liquidity session, which is generally speaking London sessions. It is between the kill zones, so it is active time. We're gonna see though. We didn't put much in it, which is why I say I like to learn a lot from live accounts. We didn't get to GBK. I didn't come close to well, they come close, but we didn't come directly to his entry. And it's the same thing, same shape as EuroCAD, but this one just had a cleaner entry. So I just felt with going with this. It does mean that there is potential. Okay, these are starting to reverse a little bit. Okay. Anyway, that's the trade for today. We are going to monitor this. We're going to trade anything else. Let's see how this one does. First trade since I think a couple days ago. Anyway, I am done for context. Our trade setup is here. London session took Asia highs, then took Asia lows. London session displaced back into Asia range, and price during New York session pulled back to the fair value gap of the displacement that occurred after the sweep. We are buying the retest of that. The only thing we're missing is a clean market to shift on this one, a time frame aligned with the displacement. So we are missing one thing, which is makes it a little bit riskier, but we are taking the trade as it's the best setup we can see. Plus, it just still ticks off as low of our checklist despite that. So again, we'll see how this does on the Telegram. I might update it, and then we are going to be here again tomorrow. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. The ones that have been with us throughout, the ones that watch it back, shout out to all of you. And I'll be here tomorrow. As always, CJ, peace.